some senior agents in the list here and some new faces, so that's always great. I'm not going to be very long. I just want to go over a couple quick points. To Laura's point, this is a pretty strenuous process, not only for us, but even for all of you, because if you're not following the initial procedures that Laura and her team train all of you on, this does add a bit of extra work, but it shouldn't have to add too much. So just quickly, I'm going to pull up here in a second the actual email that goes out. So for as many years as I can remember going back now, we've been sending an email out with the lists. And Laura mentioned lists as in plural. That's a very important point that I think some people miss. So I'm going to share my screen. Steal this from you, Laura.
Right ahead.
And if you can let me know when it's up.
It's up.
Okay, so this email should not be new to anybody. Again, this goes out every month to all the agency principals. Again, if you have staff, you're going to want to go ahead and send them this email, and then they can also download the links. It won't be protected in any way. Something that we recommend is if you know that you want it to go to somebody every month, you can go ahead and create a rule in your inbox so that when this email comes through, it automatically forwards to a staff or staff members. So as you can see, it's a pretty standard email with some intro and then some steps to follow. These steps are extremely important. If every single step is not followed, we cannot guarantee that your commissions are going to be reconciled when you first reach out to us. So step one is review your state list. So this list is going to be state specific because we are 100% able to identify who it belongs to. So if you're in Illinois and you click on the first tab here in the email, it'll pull up an Illinois only list. You're going to want to go through that. It goes by oldest to newest, and then each month is from A to Z. So we made it a little easier on the eyes and a little easier to search for your own agency. So let's say it goes back and we're in, February 2024, and then down below is A to Z agency names. Then you'll see a new month and it'll be March 24, and it starts back up again, A to Z. That's one way to search. Another way to search would be to use the find function, which if you're not familiar, you would hit Control and then F on your keyboard. From there, you can go ahead and search your agency name, and that should make it a little easier as well to identify which policies you might have on the outstanding list.
Hey, Anthony, what if I am in Illinois and I'm writing policies in Michigan or Wisconsin?
It's a great question. If that is the case, it would still be on the Illinois list. The way that we break it down is when we find a policy that belongs to a specific agent, we don't look at where the policy is issued. We look at where the agent resides. So if you're an Illinois agent and you're writing policies in Michigan or Texas or Florida or anywhere else in the country, it would still be located on your Illinois list, assuming we were able to identify it as a client belonging to your agency. So great question. On the flip side, if there are policies that perhaps are issued under a shared code, or a carrier just does not break down clients by your contract code or your appointment code rather with that carrier, we have another list here. Step 2, shared and unidentified. Please, please, please look at this list as well. This is going to be much more difficult to locate your clients because it is not broken down by agency. This, again, is any policy that might be under a shared code, or it's because we couldn't identify it on the statement as far as which agency it actually belongs to. So in this case, when you're going through this list, keep in mind the policies that you're writing with specific carriers, right? And if you are reviewing your reports and you don't see a policy, you don't see a client that you've received commission on, This is where I highly recommend using that find feature, which again is just Control and the F on your keyboard. From here, you can search either a policy number, a client name, or perhaps a carrier, and narrow down your search a little bit more. But it is very crucial to actually click on this tab or this box, if you will, when you receive this email, because there can very likely be more policies that belong to your agency that we've received money, but we could not reconcile for one reason or another. Now, once you've identified you have some clients on the policy list and you've gone through, you need to go and make sure that that information is in Epic. Whether it's the client that's missing, which means you would have to add the client and the policy, whether it's just the policy, what have you. Maybe the policy number is not matching up. You know, we've really taken an effort to tackle these agencies that provide different policy numbers on, you know, deck pages or documents that you receive versus what is actually downloaded into Epic. So we're doing our best to identify those and reconcile them if we can. But that could also be a reason that something would be on the list. So once you identify clients on either one or both of these lists, it's very important to go into Epic and verify that the information matches. Whatever on the outstanding list is what you want to enter in Epic. This is how we, for one, search. Once we receive an email from you, this is how we search for it, and this is how we also reconcile in the system. So that's actually step 4 as well. Once you go through the list, find your policies, verify the information in Epic, this step 4 is mandatory. Without this, we will not reconcile a policy. We are asking that you send us an email to outstanding@asnoa.com, list the clients and policies, and from there, we will go and attempt to reconcile them. Now,
And you can send one email with a list.
one email would be preferred. Of course, if you go through it and you send us a list of 5, and then maybe you're, you know, checking the list again a few days later, keep in mind that list is not real time. It's a hard list, so it's not going to change from day to day in this currently. But let's just say you got through half the list and you sent us an email, and then maybe a week later you went through the rest of the list and sent us another email. That's perfectly fine. But again, one email with all the clients and policies that you've confirmed are updated and or entered in Epic would be an ideal situation. Again, without this email though, we will not reconcile a policy.
We just won't know that you guys entered it in. There's so many on these outstanding commissions report that they don't go back through every single one. So that's why
we wouldn't be able to close the month with all the normal commissions that we receive. So that's why we require an email right now.
And by what day, Aunt?
By the 25th. If we don't have an email by the 25th, it is not going to be reconciled until the following month. We generally need anywhere from 3 to 5 business days at the end of the month to do all of our other month-end procedures to ensure that everyone else gets paid the actual monthly commissions received. So you send it in by the 25th, we will get it reconciled. After the 25th, I can't guarantee it. There is a possibility, but it's very low. Now, let's say you do send an email to outstanding that something's been updated. When we go and attempt to reconcile it, if something is causing us not to be able to reconcile it, we'll notate it on the back end on our side. And then somebody from education, usually Catherine, would actually reach out to you and let you know, hey, they still couldn't reconcile it because X or because Y. And then from there, she'll work with you, try to resolve that issue. And then we would ask for another email so that we can go and attempt to reconcile it before we close the month. So as
what have you seen, real quick, Aunt? What have you seen is some of the issues of why they put the policy into Epic, they email you, and it's coming back? Catherine, what have you seen is some of the issues?
For me, the main 2 things that I'm seeing is 1, the policy number is not matching, like Anthony mentioned. So if the policy number that is on outstanding is not matching what you entered, sometimes people will see it on there and maybe not notice that a certain number is off or something like that. And the second biggest thing is the issuing company or the premium payable listed. And so specifically with your NBS or BTIS policies, those wholesalers, you have to enter those as, you know, the company you're actually writing the policy with, let's say Progressive or Hiscox is a big one. You write Hiscox and you write it through BTIS, you have to list those separately. And that's a big one. People list like Hiscox for both, and then that causes them to not be able to pay it. So those
So
are the main two things, policy
so the
number and
issuing
premium
company,
payable.
issuing
Premium
company
payable.
is the company that the wholesaler wrote the piece of business with. And then the
Yes,
premium payable is
the
the
wholesaler itself. Yeah,
What we enter on the outstanding list, that's what needs to be under the premium payable.
yes. So like you will see BTIS, you should hardly ever, if ever, see Hiscox because Hiscox only writes through those wholesalers. So you would only see BTIS on the outstanding commission report, and that's what needs to be listed as the PPE.
Yes.
But yeah, those are the main two things that usually cause the issue.
That's what we see too. Yeah. So, I haven't looked. Is there any questions on the current process? Nothing. That's good.
Nothing in the chat.
So again, this isn't new. Again, this has been our process for a long time. I've been here 17 years. It's been the process almost the entire time. Of course, we've had some improvements and some enhancements throughout the years, but generally this is what is required in order for us to get these policies reconciled and paid to your agency. And as Laura mentioned, we don't like holding on to this money. You know, contrary to belief, we do not want this money. We want to get you paid. We know that you're out there and you're working hard, and you're just missing, you know, one or two steps to get paid, and we want you to get paid. So, obviously, this is a very important email. Please review it each month, as quick as you can. You know, we are attempting to send it out by the first Friday of every month, unless that Friday, the first Friday is the first of the month. But generally, we've been getting this out within the first, 5 or so business days. Now, I just want to make a quick note. I don't want to go too much into it because it's not ready. However, we do have a new process planned, which hopefully is launched before the end of the year. So I'm going to share a quick screenshot, and I think it's
This
gonna
is
be
exclusive updated information for you guys on this call.
Yeah, no one else is going to see this until it's
Nope.
actually ready to go.
Yeah.
So those of you that joined, here's a sneak peek. Here we go. So if you're looking here, now we're not sure if it's going to be a separate tab in Atlas, but if any of you are looking on the left-hand side, you'll notice this is very similar to the Atlas homepage where you have the different tabs. As you can see right now in just this screenshot, we have it in a separate tab, which will likely be how it will be launched in a separate tab to keep it nice and clean. So what we have here is just about the same information that would be on the outstanding list. It's a little condensed for a couple reasons, but all said and done, this has the information that you need. It has the carrier, the policy number, the client name, premium, commission. Now the branch, that might be something that we rotate for effective date. We're not entirely sure. Like I said, it's not 100% finalized. But since this is going to be a new process, what we're trying to accomplish is for all of you not to have to go through 15, 20, 25 pages. This spot, when you log into Atlas, should be only your policies.
What? Whoop, whoop.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, except for the shared.
Except for the shared.
Yeah.
We still have to figure that one out a little bit too. However, as you can see here, it tells you number of policies outstanding, estimated premium. We also might add estimated commission. However, you can see this right here. Now you can export this, as you can see over here. You can export it yourself to a CSV, essentially an Excel file. And this way you can go through that list, check them off, give them to a staff member to go ahead and enter, nice and clean. Or you can just work right off this screen. Now, what you're gonna see here is this column that says entered. This is going to be a toggle. So when it's clicked over here to the left, that means nothing has been done. If you click on a toggle and it goes to the right, it's going to give a date in here, and it's actually going to be removed from your list. From there, we're going to be able to export it ourselves and then get those reconciled. So you don't have to send an email anymore. Save you all some time.
That's awesome, but do you still have to have this done by the 25th?
Yes, you do. That
Okay,
is the reason for the date, so that somebody can't come back and say, hey, well, I entered it and I hit the toggle that it was entered, I didn't get paid. If you do come in here after the 25th, it will not be reconciled, and we will actually in the back end put it back onto your list until the following month.
so this
So
is just gonna be a running list, and then the next month you'll remove it, the ones that are toggled over as entered.
it'll
Yeah.
be removed as they enter them and click on the toggle. It'll be removed from their list so they don't have to see it anymore. We're going to reconcile once a week the outstanding, and if everything is reconciled, it's done. It's going to be included in that month's production, assuming it's before the 25th, and they're going to get paid on it. Now, in the event we are attempting to reconcile these and we cannot reconcile it, on the back end, we're actually going to have it populate back into their atlas, into their outstanding section, and there's going to be a notes section. So again, this is just a quick screenshot. It's not finalized, but there's actually going to be a notes over here, and it's going to tell you why. Premium payable does not match. Policy number does not match. Client not in the system. Whatever that scenario might be, we will actually put a note on there for you to review. You can actually see that this one has a note as well. So again, as far as the layout, this is just an initial screenshot, not finalized. But you should be able to see, oh, this one is back on my list. Click on the note or see the note in the column. This is why it's not. If you need assistance, you would be able to reach out to education, or if you just see, oh, I didn't update the premium payable to Nat Gen, I'll go ahead and do that. Come back in here, click on the toggle. It'll then be removed again. It'll come on our list and we'll attempt to reconcile it.
This is a game changer, Ant. Certainly.
It is. We're really trying to simplify it as much as possible for both parties, both the agent and for us. So we're really excited about it. It again should be launched before the end of the year. We're actually going to be selecting some agents in the coming weeks here to pilot it. But it's going to be much cleaner, a little bit quicker, less steps. And yeah, we're real excited to have this launched. So don't want to go too much more into it, but are there any questions on that for the time?
I don't see any questions in the chat or any hand raised, but how many policies is this gonna hold? So if you have 50 in here, it's gonna hold all 50 of them?
Oh yeah, yeah, there's no limits here. I confirm that. There will not be a limit. I mean, Laura, let's hope there's never 50 here, right?
I know, right?
There is something that I didn't mention as well. This list is going to be real time. Also meaning that if we receive a statement today and we attempt to reconcile it, let's say there's 1,000 policies and we reconcile 900, meaning there's 100 outstanding, we're going to put them on the list within a couple days. Therefore, you will not have to wait an additional month and a half to get paid. So that's really exciting for us as well.
I didn't know that, Anthony. That's
you didn't know that?
amazing.
That's a secret,
No,
huh? Secret
that
for you
was.
too. So yeah, what we're trying to do again is we want all of you to get paid. We don't want to hold on to money. If we get a deposit today and we want to reconcile it that month, we want every single penny paid out the door. So it will actually help all of you to not have to wait for this commission, because we know things happen. You missed a download, or entered something incorrectly, whatever the case may be, and outstanding policies are a nuisance for everybody. So it will actually be current month, and it'll just always be on here until it's entered in the system. So real exciting. Again, look forward. We're gonna have an email that goes out with a video, much more detailed, a little more organized, of course, but this is coming very soon. And again, we are pretty excited about it.
That is exciting. And if you have not created your Atlas account, please do so. It's really important that you guys are in there, that you are taking a look at everything that needs to get done. We have all of our resources in there. All of upcoming webinars are in Atlas, so everything's in Atlas for you guys. Any questions? What do I need to do to sign up for Atlas? Catherine, can you add that link into the chat, or Taylor? That would be great. Your staff can have access to, they can have access to Atlas. All they need to do is log in, and you got to use your email that we have on file for you. So if you put in your personal, and we only have, you know, your at ABC Insurance, that's the one you need to use, not your personal. Because if it can't find that, then you won't be able to create that account. Taylor put the link in the chat. So click on that, create your account, have your staff all create an account. There's so many resources available in there as well. All right, Anthony, anything else? Hope you're muted.
Muting myself there. No, that's all I have. I just wanted to make a couple quick comments. Obviously, just reiterate our current process, but wanted to give the select few here that joined a little preview of what's to come. It looks like Spicy's pretty excited, and hopefully some others are too. Like I said, I know this is going to be a much smoother process once we get into it, and yeah, we're excited.
We are hoping for this to be by the first of the year. By the first
I
of the
don't want to guarantee it, but I would put some money on that it is. Like I said, we are going to be reaching out to some agents in the next week or so to pilot it for a month. And if all goes well, it'll be out, but not gonna guarantee it, but I would put some money on it.
That's exciting news. It truly is. And for some of you that are new, that are on this call, you're like, what are you guys talking about? We're gonna work with you more and more on the outstanding commissions list, and that's gonna be great. Kurt asked about the weekly cancellations in Atlas. No, all of your reports are still gonna come to you from Epic, but your producer reports are in Atlas. Your invoice is in Atlas. That's the only way you're going to get those. Anthony's team is not sending those out anymore, so you need to get that. And then as soon as this is up and rolling, then that's the way you're going to see your outstanding commissions report. So when you log in on the first of every month to get your producer reports, you're going to see your outstanding. And you're going to need to check it daily or weekly, because Anthony's team reconciles commission every day, every week, as commissions are coming in. So it's not just going to be one day. And I recommend don't wait until the 25th. You should be looking at that all week, all month long.
It'll never be an email once this is fully implemented, and it can change from day to day. Because like I said, as we're balancing our carriers, the policies that we're unable to reconcile, which we dub as outstanding commissions, they're going to be updated in here. So definitely important to get in here and check it. Check it before the 25th, because if it's on there and you get it updated or entered, toggle that little button, it'll get reconciled in that month.
That's amazing. That is so exciting, you guys. I mean, wow, that's going to be a game changer for your department and for Catherine, that's for sure. That is for sure. All right, well, thank you, Anthony. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to hop into Epic and show you guys a couple more things. All right. I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see my screen? Which screen do you
Yeah,
see?
we can. I see your Epic screen right now.
Okay, good. Let me move this. All right, so I am in Epic. This is the Epic browser. What is so awesome about the browser is that Applied Systems is only updating every new feature in the browser. So when I was talking about that connection suite from my home screen, if your email is orange here, that's a really big indicator that you need to update your connection suite. So connection suite means it's all of the updates that were applied into Epic that are waiting to get updated. So from here, if you go to help and you go to connection suite, these first two should both say installed. So when you click on it and you click install, most of the time it's going to be up here, that new feature that Microsoft added where everything downloads up at the right-hand corner. So you're going to want to make sure you update these. If you don't, you are going to lose some functionality in Epic, especially running any reports, your tabs opening up on the top. I love that. So if you don't update these, you might not have the different tabs that are going to open. So I'm going to go back and I pulled up my clients and I'm going to go to policies and I'm going to add a new policy. I'm just going to go right through it. And I have so many in here, it's going to take a hot second to update. So if I click the plus sign, I'm going to add a policy. Let's add an auto policy. Let's add a motorcycle. So if you have a motorcycle, if you have an RV, if you have a travel trailer, you're going to put those in as an auto. If you have a renter's policy or a condo policy, you are going to enter those in as a home policy. In this description here, you can change that. And then you can change whatever it may be. Or maybe you have multiple policies that are dwelling fire policies. You can change this description and put the address in it. So that way, when you're looking at all the policies and a client had called in regards to one, you'll be able to see it right away. And then for Progressive, Progressive wants you to put an MC in the front. And then this defaults as an annual policy. If it's a 6-month policy, you're going to want to make sure that you change that out 6 months. So if you're in October, you would change that to a 4. And then choose your profit center. I'm on my training client, but if you are in your agency and you are splitting commissions with your producer or with your CSR, you are going to want to make sure that you are updating the profit center. So you're going to put in the profit center, you're going to put in the issuing company. And here's where Catherine was talking about the issuing company and the premium payable. So if you are putting in, what did you say, Hiscox? So if you have a Hiscox policy and you wrote it through BTIS,
Yeah.
you're going to make sure that this is what it looks like. The
Mhm.
issuing company is the company that BTIS wrote the policy with. So Hiscox, and then you got your BTIS. And that's the same with NBS, or that's the same with any of your different wholesale companies. You want to make sure that the issuing company and the premium payable are updated. I'm going to change this back to Progressive. You're going to want to check the use commission agreement box, use the drop down, choose the agreement that you wrote. I don't know what you wrote. You would know what you wrote, and then go ahead and put that in. If you don't know if this was blank, then you're going to want to uncheck it and then manually add in the percentage. And just note, our accounting department is only going to pay you the commission that is received, that percentage from the carrier. I'm going to say that again. If you put 50% in there, they're not going to pay you 50% of the commission. only going to pay you what the percentages that we receive. You want to make sure that you are adding that all in. And then you put in the premium, which is a very high premium for a motorcycle policy. Then when you click detail, some of your producers may have, you know, default setup where it's going to put in their commissions and their defaults for you automatically. And I'll show you what that looks like. Leave this follow up on download activity open. Leave it open because you want to make sure your policies are downloaded. If you're writing a company through a wholesaler, it's not going to download most likely. Then you want to check, make sure you have the policy number correct, make sure you have the dates correct, and then you can close this. But the majority of you are going to keep this open. And then when the detail, this is the policy now, okay? Just so you know, every policy you enter into Epic is an Accord form. This is your Accord 88. So if you needed to have your client sign these, you can do that as well, and I'll show you that. All right, so here we are back where we entered it in. If you are using InsuredMind, this servicing producer is very important if you are using InsuredMind or keeping it updated and making sure that everything is accurate. You need to have your producer in here. So if I'm entering policies in for Anthony, I would make sure that I would put Anthony's name in here. That way, when it goes into InsuredMind, the CRM, it is going to show you in that area just for that producer. Then you're going to click on the PRBR and you're going to make sure that this percentage here equals the percentage split that you have with Esnoa. I have several of them here. I'm going to just test that. Now, when I look at this, oh wait, it doesn't equal my split with Esnoa. And this is my test environment. So there it equals a split with Esnoa. Now, if I'm looking at this, we should always have the producer entered in first. So that 100% production credit shows 100%, order 0, and then your agency owner would be the second line. And this is for reporting purposes for the production credit. Any questions out there on entering in a policy using a profit center?
None in the chat.
Okay. Oh, yes. There was a question about Mac computers. This does not work on
Yeah,
a Mac
we
computer. You did-
responded.
Okay.
Mhm.
But it has
But
limits.
you can use the browser for all its basic functions, but you cannot update the connection suite.
Correct. So with your Mac computers, you can add policies, add clients. You won't be able to run reports. You won't be able to update the connection suite here.
You can run reports, but not
Oh, you
sometimes it can, yeah, you can definitely run reports, but sometimes it'll just give you a little bit more trouble.
Okay. So you're going to leave your policy in process. For those of you who have been around for forever and you used to update the stage to submit it, don't do that anymore. Leave it in process. It's going to save you 9,000 clicks a month instead of updating that stage to submit it. Just leave it in process. And this is what it looks like. It's highlighted. And then I have my service summary row shows in process. When it downloads, it's going to show issued, changed by download. Let me, you know what? Let me show you what it looks like. All right, I'm pulling up my own policies and see how it shows issued, changed by download. Now, when you follow up on that first new business policy, that first new business policy comes in, and then you are going to have policy changes, any cancellations, renewals, everything's going to follow suit and update like it's supposed to. If you are not following up on your downloads, you're gonna have a lot of policies on the past expiration report. And we're working a lot with a lot of agents who are not following up on their downloads, and then their reports are very inaccurate. So you're gonna wanna make sure that those are updated. Now, I can come over to transactions. And I can look to see what I've been paid on. So if I look here, you have to have these search where, you have to have these look like mine. I'm gonna just pause for just 2 seconds so you guys can either screenshot this up here and then update yours under transactions. Screenshot it, take a picture of it, whatever you need to do.
But once you do it and then you click find, it should save that for you. So you shouldn't have to do it again.
Then clicked the filter default, use default, and then click OK, and it will save for you. Then when you look at this, you're like, oh, okay, I received commission in June 2024. No, it's always the month following what is listed in here. We received the commission in June. We're going to pay it out in July. So it's always the month following it.
Laura, we have a couple questions in the chat. If you want to take a look at those real quick.
I do. It seems the renewal policy, it seems like some of the renewal policies, especially Madison Mutual, don't show up as downloads or issued policies. That is an issue, Kurt. We want to make sure that your downloads are coming through on your renewals, new business. And I know Madison Mutual was having an issue a long time ago, but they had resolved that. That was last year. So that should be updated. If not, Catherine, can you take a note on that for me?
Yep.
All right, so Denise asked, when do you suggest following up on downloads? Every single day. Every single day you should be going in and looking at your downloads. If you are a large agency, definitely every single day. If you are a smaller agency, maybe every other day, once a week, but you should definitely be looking at this under suspense. We only keep 30 days in there. So if you wait until that renewal comes, it's going to be too late, because some carriers are sending the renewals 60 to 45 days prior to the actual renewal date. So if you wait until the renewal, it's going to be gone. And that will be in the recycling bin. If you have questions about downloads, you can join Catherine's weekly help session. And that, to register for that, all you got to do is go into Atlas and click on, I think it's on the right-hand side, and join that session and register for it. Oh, and Catherine put the link in the chat. Thanks, Catherine. So you can click on that. You can join that session every single week, ask your questions, and you can jump off. Or if you're new, you want to listen to other people's questions, you can do that too. Now, if I double click on here, it's going to show me the agency commission, what was sent, what my percentage is. When I entered in that new business, it was showing 15, but at the renewal, it's showing 10. That's what our accounting department is going to pay, whatever the carrier sends to us. If I click on the PRBR and you're splitting commission with one of your producers or CSRs within the agency, it would show their name, your name, and then it would show the split between the two. So you want to make sure that you are checking to see if you are receiving commissions. If your commission and you missed it, it didn't download, whatever the case may be, and you don't see that on your producer report that's in Atlas on the 1st of every month, if it's over 90 days, then send accounting@asnoa.com an email and let them know, I'm looking for commission. Here's my effective date. It's 90 days ago. I don't know where it's at. It's not on the outstanding commission, and Anthony's team will look for that for you. We don't see that very often, but in the case, just let us know. So before you send an email to outstanding or to accounting, check your transactions because you might already be receiving commission on it for the next month. So check that out. All right, Anthony, was there anything that I missed on that about the 90 days?
No, that was perfect.
Okay, thanks. Now, if you are looking for a policy, you're in Epic and you're like, wait, where's my home policy? I don't see this. It's possible you missed that download for the renewal, or you wrote it with a carrier that doesn't download, and you'll see it on your past expiration report. Here's where it says policies current and renewed. If you change this to all except marketed, you are going to be able to see a full history of all the policies that you've ever written for this client. So it's all going to be in here. So then all you need to do, if you're like, well, I don't want to see all that, I found it. Just go back to current and renewed and it'll show you your most active policies right here. The other thing, and I want to show you guys this as well. My columns might be different than yours. These columns right here. If you are following along and you are on your policies and yours don't look like this, you can go over to the far right, click select columns and choose the columns that you want. So if I want to take off annualized, I want to take off department maybe, and I'm going to click OK. It takes off the fields you don't want to see. I like to see profit center. If you're an agency that is splitting commissions and you have different profit centers, everybody should see the profit centers who's entering in your policies for you. So they can look to see, oh yeah, that's right, I put it in PFC rather than B. So then they can update that and change that. So you want to make sure you have these columns. This column is going to show you your line billed commission. I received commission on this. How do I know? Because it updated from your transactions that was over here. And it will update it under your policy view. Most of the time, everybody is on this policy view and you can see, and you don't even have to go to transactions. All right. Taylor, Catherine, anything I missed on this screen?
Nope, don't think so.
Okay. So that is that. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you guys too. Some of you are writing wholesale business that adds in agency fees. Or you are an agency that charges agency fees, you can keep track of that in Epic. We hear a lot of agents saying, how do I keep track of that? Where is my agency fee? When you're adding in a policy, you're going to add that in as a package. So let's put this in here. I'm entering a package. So if you're interested in knowing how to enter a package, here it is. So I'm going to put in the carrier. And we are going to put in, let's put in the travelers. I'm going to click the use commission agreement. I'm just going to put the premium at 0. And I'll show you why. I'm going to click detail because it's a packaged policy, which means more than one policy. Your commercial package, you're not done when you have the commercial package and you enter it in. You have to put the other lines of business. If it is a GL, a property, a commercial, inland, marine, equipment, floaters, whatever it may be, that's part of your package. If the carrier issues those different lines of business with the same policy number, that's a package. And even for home and auto, NatGen, Encompass, they put the auto in the home all as a package, same policy number. So you would follow these same steps, but instead of commercial package, you would put in personal. It's a personal package. You're gonna leave this follow-up on download, open. And now it's gonna open up to the left, it's gonna open up the policy. And at this lines of business, here is where I'm going to add my other lines. So I'm going to add in a line. I'm gonna add in just a property policy. I'm gonna use that. And now I'm gonna put in that premium. So the premium for the property was $1,200, but I'm adding an agency fee. I had to do all kinds of work for them. So I'm gonna add in a fee. So we have policy fees and taxes. So whatever it is, if it's a policy fee, it's policy tax, all you're gonna do is click that. There's gonna be no commission for that. And then if it's whatever it is, $100. And then I'm gonna click finish. Those are the two lines that I'm putting in my package, but I'm not done yet. So now I'm on back to that CPKG line. I'm gonna delete it. Oh, it's not gonna let me delete it. Watch what it's gonna do. So I'm gonna delete that line. It's not gonna let me because I have an open activity. So what I'm gonna do is come over to my activities. And I need to close that activity. Nope. I'm closing them all. Because I have several that are open. All right, I'm gonna go back to policies. And I gotta delete the CPKG. Am I sure I wanna delete that? Yes. So now my package is the property and the fee. Right here. Now, when I click an X out of it, I'm going to leave it in process because I want the download to update it. If this is a carrier that doesn't download, you can go to yes, and you can issue the policy. But don't do that if the carrier downloads. And if you're asking, hey, how do I know what carriers download? We have a really neat spreadsheet with all that information that we can send to you. Actually, we're not going to send it. Log into Atlas, go to resources, and then you'll find it in resources under education. Boom. That's the best way for you guys to get any of the resources that we have available. All right, so now we have our policy. Now I just lost it. Come on. Where did my policy go? Here it is. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. Your CPKG, here's your policy fee, and here's your property. When it downloads, you'll see it say stage in process, change by download. You can run a book of business that will show you all the fees that you brought in for the month, for the week, for the year. You can run that. And that's how you're going to put it on an agency fee. I don't know if everybody on this call uses agency fees or some of the wholesale carriers charge agency fees to you. You can add that in. And then if it does, this is a carrier that doesn't download, all you have to do, you can then go to actions and issue, not issue the policy. Oh, wait, I didn't put in all of the policy number. All you have to do is update it right there and change the dates if necessary. And then click finish. And then it's going to show issued. Boom. That's it. Does anybody need me to go back through how to enter in a package policy? How to enter in the agency fees? Because it's really important. The only way it's going to download is if you're going to enter that in right and remove that CPKG, or it's going to go right into suspense. Now, for those of you that are new, if you're looking to go into suspense, all you need to do is from the home screen, go to procedures. You're going to go to interface management and assign items in suspense.
And if
Now,
you're new, you should go into the LMS and take the path because that'll show you everything you need to know about this. Just so you know, too. I don't want you to,
yeah,
because if you
right.
go in now, it's not going to make sense. So you might it'd probably be better to go take that path first.
Yeah, good idea.
Mhm.
Very good idea, Catherine. All right. Then I was talking about how we only put 30 days. We only leave 30 days in suspense, and then Sierra, she wipes them clean. So then all you need to do is go over to the recycling bin. And then you highlight the recycling bin. It's going to run. It's still running. And I know it's running because see the green bar at the bottom right. Catherine, can you look at the chat and help Natalia?
Yes.
All right, so in the recycling bin, you want to change this to policies. So then all you're going to see are the policies. It's going to take, there's so many in here. And then you're going to be able to see them in here. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's mine. All you need to do is then click on the little garbage can and restore it. It's the garbage can with the open lid. You're going to restore that. And then it's either going to find your policy you entered into Epic, or it's going to go back into suspense. So then I just click on assign items in suspense. I'm going to be on policies, and over to the far right, I'm going to click run. Now, that is going to be the best way for you to make sure you're going to get paid on your policies is by making sure that the policy downloads. When that policy downloads, that's letting you know, hey, I have the policy number entered into Epic correctly. All right, any questions? I know we're at time. Just wanted to see if you guys had any questions. All right, I don't see any more in the chat. Do you, Catherine?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, perfect. All right, make sure you're getting your policies from the outstanding commission entered into Epic. Make sure you're following up on your downloads. Make sure that you are emailing outstanding@esnoa.com. Let me,
I saw Heather ask how long do they stay in the recycle bin? So they stay for an additional 60 days. So 30 days in suspense, then an additional 60 in the recycle bin. So 90 days total. You have access to them before you would have to request another download. And then yes, Spicy, we have a meeting coming up soon, I know. So we'll get some of those answered.
real quick, if you're in suspense, you can come in here and you can search by your branch and you can put that in. Spicy, I don't know what your branch code is, but I won't call you out.
GIM. If you want to call her out, you can.
All right, I'm calling you
She
out.
put it in the chat, so she's good.
All right. So I'm looking up.
We have a meeting scheduled, don't worry.
Right. So when you see that you have these policies, it's really important to make sure that you get these downloaded. Note, downloads and outstanding commission are two separate things. Okay? You can enter your policy into Epic, and then our accounting department will still pay you commission on it if it's correct. The download's going to come through, and then it is going to update to keep all of your reports accurate. So if I'm going to call Spicy out on this, I am going to let her know that this is a cancel. It's stuck in suspense for whatever reason. I'm going to assume it's probably the line type, but she's not gonna see this cancellation on her cancellation report that she's getting either every day or once a week. So that's why it's so important that you are making sure you're following up on your downloads. All right.
I did want to say too, just if you don't mind, Laura,
I
that
know.
you just mentioned that downloads and outstanding commission are not 100% related. And so just wanted to reiterate that because the big one that I get a lot is that they following up with the download is like the first line of defense of making sure that something will get paid. But if it's not downloading for like, let's say the date is incorrect and that made it not download, that doesn't mean you're not going to get paid. Because like we talked about before, the main reason something's not going to get paid is based on the policy number and then that issuing company / premium payable. So there are other reasons that it would not download. So I know sometimes people email us and freak out saying, oh, this isn't downloaded, and maybe the carrier never sent it or whatever the case is, and are worried that they're not going to get paid. Just know that they're not directly correlated, but having the download in there does ensure that everything is correct so that it can get paid. So
Okay.
yeah, just wanted to make sure that that distinction is made.
Another thing I wanted to mention, if you get an error when you're hitting update existing, do not add a new policy or add a line. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to duplicate your book of business report. Everything's going to be duplicated, and then the policy isn't going to get downloaded properly. They're going to pay a different policy. So make sure you're only updating existing. Now, this is an error that people will see. They put it in as a condo policy, but it downloaded as a fire policy. You can't just go into the client and change it from one line to another. You have to delete that policy and add in a new policy under the correct line type. Don't add a new policy here. Don't do it. What happens if you add new policies from suspense? Your PRBR that I showed you guys, where you put your producer and yourself or just your agency owner, is going to be 0. It's going to be blank. And then Anthony is going to scream and holler at us, and then we'll be reaching out to you. So always update existing. So in this case, Spicy's going to be working with Catherine and to get these all out of suspense. All right, everybody. It was great having you on today. If you have any questions, please go into Atlas and submit a ticket for us. You can also jump on Catherine's weekly session, join into the LMS and take any learning paths in the LMS. How do I get a policy out of suspense? How do I enter a policy? Those are all in the learning paths that we have in the LMS, and all you need to do is log in. If you don't have a login, just send us a support ticket through Atlas. All right, Anthony, thank you so much for jumping on. It's always a pleasure to have you on Live with Laura. And everybody else, have a great rest of your week, and also have a great Halloween. And always remember to be epic. I was waiting for Catherine and Taylor because they
I
tease
was
me all the
muted,
time.
sorry.
Epic. Spicy.
Spicy
Spicy
knew.
did it for you
Spicy
in the
got it.
chat.
She
Yeah.
knew. She knew. I always remember to be epic. That's right. All right, everybody. Have a great one, and we will talk with you soon.
Right.
Take care.